Thank you for the gift of being present with you all today, and thank you for your always generous welcome. He wasn't kidding about the worship time. We were just joking about the Presbyterians being sort of founded after the invention of the watch versus the Jewish people were founded before the invention of the watch. And it is true that my one of the earlier pastors in Trinity Avenue Presbyterian, Reverend William Bennett, his mother was a formidable figure within the community, and she would sit in the very back pew of the church, and when his sermon was going long, she would wave her hanky, and church members say that they would just see him shuffle papers and then bring it in for a landing. And so we always are open, receptive, grateful for the movement of God's Spirit, particularly within a 60-minute time frame. Because as sovereign God is sovereign and good, and lunch is good as well. And people are always quick to let us know that. It really is a joy always to worship with you, and especially today as we stand on the threshold of this transition that you have been anticipating for such a long time. And I give thanks for the generosity of this community that enables this season of renovation to even be possible. And so I give thanks for this season that is being christened and that is underway, but it's being built on God's work in your heart and God's work through your generosity. Having stepped away from several worship spaces while they are being renovated in my lifetime, I know well those bittersweet emotions that attend the experience. And I want you to know that I am praying for you, and our community of faith is praying for you as you navigate all of those bittersweet emotions. On behalf of the session, which is our local governing body, much like your own board and the entire congregation of Trinity Avenue Presbyterian Church, I'm here to extend to you our deep and enthusiastic welcome to the space that will soon be your home away from home for a season. We're honored to be hosting you during this special time in your community's life, and we are humbled that you would want to be with us as we not only share space together, but share life together in a new way and in many different ways in the months to come. Several of you have asked me over these months of preparation why it is that we are doing this, and the answer is multifaceted. The first question in what is called the Westminster Shorter Catechism, which was written in 1646 by a group of clergy and lay people who were trying to unite the churches in England and Scotland. That first question of that catechism asks this: what is the chief end of humankind? And the answer is to glorify God and enjoy God forever. And I would add a friendly amendment, not that anyone has ever asked me to this, and I would conclude that answer, to glorify God and enjoy God forever, with an additional phrase: and to support others in doing the same. The truth of the matter is that we believe that extending hospitality to you and glorifying God are one in the same thing. We believe that God delights in hearts and minds being turned to God in worship, and in feet being guided along pathways of devotion to God in daily life, and in hands being inclined to serve in God's name out in the world. If providing continuity in a place to worship through this time of dislocation from this your beloved home can facilitate the nurture of your faith and growth in these things as God's people, then we are pleased to glorify God in this way. And we look forward to enjoying God together and maybe even enhancing one another's enjoyment of God through the gift of surprising friendships and experiences along the way. It's not lost on me that it was a Presbyterian who helped you with your capital campaign, a Presbyterian who is one of your general contractors, and Presbyterians who are hosting you during this transition. And so I think it is therefore worthy of note that we are not trying to make you Presbyterian. This is not some elaborate proselytizing initiative. One of my earliest memories of worship as a child is standing on top of the pew next to my late father, Bob Dylan, different than the Bob Dylan that you are most likely thinking of, though he had a marvelous singing voice. We were sharing a hymn book together, hence me standing on the pew, and singing my favorite hymn, which was titled, "They Will Know We Are Christians by Our Love." What I did not know at the time was that the word Christian for a great many people represented something far different than love. Negative associations have been hard won by those who have inflicted deep wounds on others in the name of Jesus. We're not only extending hospitality to you in an effort to get it right insofar as representing God's love is concerned, we are also extending hospitality because we know that we stand in a tradition that has at times gotten it horribly wrong in relation to the Jewish community. We cannot undo this, and it grieves us, and it sickens us, and it leaves us feeling at a terrible loss. But hate and division, persecution, prejudice, violence, and injustice are antithetical to the person and teachings of Jesus. If we can enact any gesture, however small it may be, to stand as a counterpoint to the shameful narrative that people who share our faith have helped forge, and in cases still forge today, this is the work that we want to be about, and this is the work that we must be about. In the book of 1 John in the Christian Scriptures, we're told that God is love, and those who abide in love abide in God, and God abides in them. When the opportunity to provide space for you to worship was first presented to our session, it was unanimously, enthusiastically, and unflinchingly endorsed. The response of the congregation has been the same. In addition to what I've already named, this is also because we believe that when we grow in understanding of one another, we gain all the more reason to stand in awe before the ways that God reveals God's self in the world and is at work in the world, which deepens our collective faith, whatever the unique manifestation of that faith may be. This deepened faith fosters the growth of more love, which is the closest encounter with God that we will have in this lifetime, and is an encounter that the world as a whole desperately, desperately needs. So for this reason, we are grateful to be in ministry with you as we commit to the common cause of fostering the growth of love in the world so that others might know God, glorify God, and enjoy God forever. We are grateful for the chance to be good neighbors and to hold you and our expectations loosely so that God can accomplish in both of our communities and through our collective witness whatever it is that God intends. We are grateful to lend out a space that we do not consider our own, but that we understand ourselves to be stewards of as the church, which is the word that we use for the structure, the people, and all the work that we do. The church belongs to God. And we are grateful for you, for who you are, for your openness to us, for the gift of a budding friendship, for the opportunity to share in one another's joys and sorrows, celebrations, service, and hopes in the season ahead. May this relationship between our communities of faith glorify God and enhance our enjoyment of God forever and support others in doing the same. Thank you. Amen.